Each morning you wake up with a tired body, a lazy mind, and a life that remains unchanged. You know you need to do something, yet somehow the alarm clock always wins. And once again, you begin the day as a survivor, not as someone living with intention. We often think that what ruins our lives are the big events, but no. It's those vague mornings, those moments when you no longer remember why you must try. It's how you start the day in chaos, in repetition, and without awareness. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach you to begin the day with inspiration, but with reason. Not to control the world, but to control yourself. And to do that, you need a morning strong enough to awaken the deepest part of your intellect. Today, I'll show you how to do exactly that through 7 principles that have completely transformed my life. 1. Every morning is a reminder. Life will not wait for you. Every morning when you open your eyes, life is already one step ahead. The sun doesn't wait for you to rise before it does. The diligent don't wait for you to begin. The world doesn't pause while you collect yourself, sort your feelings, or decide where to start. Everything moves on quietly, but relentlessly. The brutal truth is, whether you're awake or asleep, active or passive, time still flows. It doesn't care whether you're ready. It only moves forward and leaves you behind if you refuse to move with it. Many people live as if they own a secret drawer called tomorrow. They believe that after one more night's sleep, after the next vacation, once their mood improves, once things settle down, they'll finally start truly living. But those tomorrows never arrive as expected. They quietly vanish each time they hit snooze, each time they say, "Not yet." Each time they convince themselves that mere survival is enough for today. And one day they look back and realize the future they had waited for was never built. Only repetitive days remained soulless, aimless, and meaningless. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every day with a sentence etched into the history of philosophy. Do not act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. That line wasn't meant to instill fear. It was a reminder that each morning is a privilege, another chance to act. When you see each new day as life given back to you, you stop wasting it on laziness, on unconscious habits, on waiting for vague inspiration. You step into the day with gratitude and urgency because you understand. You have no right to waste what you're not guaranteed to have tomorrow. There's something most people refuse to face. No one is truly too busy to live right. They simply choose not to prioritize it. They find time to scroll through social media the moment they wake, to complain in texts, to delay serious plans with mindless videos. It's not that time is lacking, it's just misused. And by the time they realize that, it's too late. The cost of a wasted morning isn't just the 24 hours lost. It's a spiral that pulls an entire life off course because the day began in the wrong direction. Morning isn't a time slot. It's a threshold between potential and reality. between intention and action. It's the space between who you were and who you could become. When you start your day with awareness, you declare to the world that you're not merely existing, you're alive. You're not reacting to circumstances, you're shaping them. And that's the ultimate difference between someone who wakes to live and someone who merely lives because they were woken. You don't need to start your day with grand actions. You just need to start it with a clear choice. To not let life drag you unconsciously. You'll step forward, even just one step, but it will be yours. That might mean rising the moment the alarm rings, drinking a glass of water instead of grabbing your phone, writing one line of commitment instead of looping in old thoughts. These small acts don't just shape the morning, they shape you. Because deeper than all else, every morning is a test. No one scores it, no one sees it, but you know whether you pass or fail. You know whether you betrayed or protected your dream. And that makes the silent difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Not everyone starts with an advantage, but everyone gets a morning, and how they use it determines the path they take. The world won't wait for you to clear your mind before it moves. Opportunity won't knock twice. Delay is never harmless, and time, if not used, will turn against you. So stop asking whether you have enough motivation, enough resources, enough luck. Start asking, am I living right from the very first second of my day? And if the answer is no, then this moment, not tomorrow, is the time to change. 2. If you don't prioritize yourself, no one will do it for you. When you begin to realize that life doesn't stop for anyone, that's when you must reposition yourself within its flow. Not at the bottom of the list, not behind others' opinions, but at the center of every decision, every morning ritual. Because if you don't walk out of the morning with the clarity that you are the one carrying your life, very soon, life will hand you over to the chaos of others, and you'll get swept into a story where you're never the lead. How many times have you told yourself to take care of your body, only to surrender your morning to the phone the very next day? To trade your sleep for work, your health for meaningless urgency. We live as if we're infinite, and we make promises we never keep. That we'll rest after this phase, work out when we're free, care about emotions when things are more stable. But in reality, no one hands you back that time. No one pauses to ask if you're okay. Because the world runs on natural indifference, not cruel, just constant. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach you to be cold to others. It teaches you to stop expecting the world to handle you with care. No one is obligated to put you first except you. And if you don't do that every morning, if you don't actively rebuild yourself before stepping out, you're walking through life unarmored, with a fragile mind and scattered emotions. The only defense against chaos is a structure you've built for yourself, disciplined but loving. A morning ritual that no one can intrude upon. You can't help others if you're depleted. You can't create, love, or endure if you're slowly eroding from the little things. You cannot become strong while starving your body with busyness, and suffocating your spirit by constantly breaking your own promises. Each morning is a reminder. If you don't prioritize yourself, you're preparing to collapse silently, and no one will notice until it's too late. And you don't need a crisis, a diagnosis, or a breakdown to understand this. You just need a moment of self-awareness in the morning. A glass of water instead of rushed coffee. A deep breath instead of checking your phone. A look in the mirror with honesty, not a mask of hurried action. These small acts, repeated daily, become the guardrails for your clarity. Not because you're weak and need protection, but because you're preparing for a lifelong inner battle. And that preparation must begin with you, no one else. You may call it discipline. You may call it self-love. But no matter the term, the essence remains. You are choosing yourself. You are telling the world that before giving, you will fill yourself. Before going far, you will stand firm. Before doing anything for others, you will not abandon yourself. That is a silent vow, but one stronger than any loud declaration. And you repeat it every morning, not to hear it more clearly, but to remind yourself. No one can stand up and live this life for you. You are the only one who must do it, and you must start right now. 3. Regret teaches you nothing unless you act upon it. When you place yourself in the right position, not as the center of pity, but as the center of responsibility, there is one thing you cannot avoid. Regret. It doesn't scream, doesn't rush, but it is persistent and insidious. It often arrives in the quietest moments of the day, perhaps when you're washing your face under the faint morning light, or lying down while your mind still races with unfinished thoughts. And it whispers, if only you had started earlier. If only you had apologized. If only you hadn't been afraid. But what's frightening is not regret itself. It's how we let it gnaw at us without doing anything. There is a simple truth that few dare to face. Regret teaches you nothing unless you act upon it. Regret is not a lesson, it's a reminder. Only when you transform it into action does it become wisdom. Otherwise, it's just a shadow dragging behind every step, weighing down your mind, making you feel like you're still living in the past. You think you're reflecting, but in reality, you're postponing. You think you're learning, but in truth, you're avoiding. And that continues year after year, turning a small scratch into a wound that never heals simply because you never had the courage to act. Stoic philosophy does not deny regret, but it draws a boundary for it. Epictetus said we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. That means you're not truly in pain because of the past. You're in pain because you refuse to let it go. You look back, you blame yourself, you reconstruct every scene in your mind, and then you stay still, while the only thing you really need to do is move forward consciously. To look back, not to torment yourself, but to filter what's worth carrying. And the rest, you leave it behind like an old, useless stone. Maturity does not come from remembering pain clearly, but from understanding why it happened and choosing not to repeat it. You cannot turn back time, but you can reshape the days to come. Every morning is a chance to respond to regret with action. If you once missed a chance to learn, read a page today. If you once harmed your health through poor living, drink water and exercise in the morning. If you once let a relationship drift away in silence, send a message. Do something small if you must, but do something. Because only when you act do you step out of the time you've already lost. Don't be mistaken into thinking you must do something grand to make amends with the past. Sometimes, action is simply the decision not to follow the same path again. It's when regret calls you back and you smile and say, "Thanks for the reminder. But today, I'll live differently." There is no greater victory than refusing to repeat what once broke you. There is no more genuine growth than acting against your old reflexes, whether anyone sees it or not, whether you're praised or not, whether the results come soon or late. You will never erase regret by thinking about it. You can only fade it by living each day as if you are rewriting the manuscript of your life with your hands, not your imagination. And every action you take, no matter how small, is proof that you are not letting yourself die slowly in the shadow of if only. Each morning you rise and do the right thing is a day you shorten the distance between who you were and who you are trying to become. And nothing is more worthwhile than that journey. The journey of turning regret into a compass, not a chain. 4. If you don't build your own dream, you'll end up building someone else's. When you've had the courage not to deny your past, when you've learned not to let regret paralyze you but to turn it into action, you'll face another question, quiet but sharp. What are you using your present to build? Because if you're not careful, you'll realize you're working hard, making effort, sweating every day not to build your own dream, but to construct someone else's castle with the bricks of your own life. There is nothing wrong with working for others, but there is something wrong if your whole life is spent doing that without ever asking, which dream is truly mine? How many people wake up each morning, enter a long day, sit in the same seat, do the same repetitive tasks, not because they believe in them, but because they've forgotten they once had a dream. Busyness distracts. A paycheck dulls dissatisfaction. Social expectations lull the inner rebel to sleep. And so the years pass, your efforts helping someone else realize their vision, while your own vision was never even written down. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." A person's value cannot be separated from their aspirations. But the irony is, many people don't lose ambition, they quietly hand it over to someone else. They live by the crowd's standards. They strive to be praised, not to be proud. They push themselves just to survive, not to create something worthy of that survival. And when those borrowed dreams shatter, they blame no one because no one stole it from them. They let it erode, piece by piece, in their own silence. Building a dream is not an impulsive act. It doesn't mean quitting your job tomorrow or taking blind risks. It's a quiet, steady, intelligent process. It's waking up 1 hour earlier to write the first pages of a book you've been holding inside. It's learning a new skill after work. It's spending weekends building a foundation for something that truly belongs to you, even if no one sees, no one believes, no one helps. Because if you don't, someone else will always find a way to use your energy for their goal. The world you live in is full of achievements, companies, products, apps, buildings. All of them were once someone's dream. And the only thing they had in common with you wasn't talent, it was that they dared to begin. They didn't let mornings pass without purpose. They didn't let a job bury their personal ambition. They acted. And because of that, you now live in the world they created. The question is, when will it be your turn? If you don't start building, your dream won't grow. It will wither in your mind, like a melody never played. But if you start even with a small step, you've already pulled yourself out of the orbit of those who live by default. You've become someone who chooses, not someone who merely responds. And in that act, you're no longer the one helping others build their dream. You're laying the foundation for your own freedom. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, ask yourself, what am I building today? And if the answer is, I don't know, or someone else's, then it's time to dedicate at least a part of your day to something that's truly yours. Even if it's small, even if it's silent, even if it brings no results yet, as long as you're building. Because the only person who can truly live your dream is you. And if you don't act, no one else will do it for you. 5. Silence is the strongest fortress for your dream. There is something even more fragile than the dream itself. It's your early belief in that dream. And what breaks it is not hardship or adversity, but noise. The noise from those who always think they know how you should live. The noise from eyes that doubt you can go far. The noise from your own impatience, wanting to prove something too soon, something not yet stable enough to be named. When you share a dream before it's fully formed, you place it in the center of judgment, a place where people speak without understanding, and you're not yet strong enough to remain unmoved. Silence is a form of protection, not because you're afraid, but because you understand. You understand that seeds don't need spotlights, they need dark soil and time. Dreams are the same. They don't need others' approval. They need your quiet repetition. Every morning you water them with action, shield them with discipline, and believe in them through wordless persistence. When you can do that, the dream begins to take root. And what has deep roots, nothing can uproot. You don't need to talk about your plans to prove they exist. Action is the most enduring language. And silence doesn't kill a dream, it lets it grow under the most ideal conditions. When you sit down and work, when you quietly learn, when you choose not to react to skeptical glances, you're building a fortress. A fortress of focus where no gossip can touch you. a fortress of independence where you don't need permission to become yourself. No one can destroy a dream they don't know you're nurturing. But when you speak too soon, you open the door for doubt to creep in, even from those who love you. Not everyone tries to stop you, but not everyone is strong enough not to plant fear on your path. And if you're still vulnerable, that fear will grow inside your head faster than any progress you're struggling to build. A dream needs quiet space to grow, not a stage to impress. Epictetus once said, "The more you seek approval, the more you lose your freedom." That's why the strongest person is the one who can persist in silence. He doesn't need applause, doesn't need recognition. He only needs the morning, a firm resolve, and a vow to himself. Silence is freedom from expectation. Silence is absolute focus on the only thing that matters: progress. There will come a time when you no longer need to say anything. The results will speak for themselves. When you show up with sharpened skill, with a trained mind, with a spirit tempered in silence, the world cannot ignore you. But by then, you'll no longer care for validation, because you'll understand. The goal was never to impress, but to create real value. Not for others to see, but for you to stop doubting yourself. So don't rush to reveal your dream while it's still learning how to breathe. Nurture it like a sacred secret. Hold your silence like a small flame in your hand, warm enough to guide your way, but not so bright as to attract the winds of doubt. Each morning, before the world wakes, begin your work in silence. Treat your dream as sacred ground where only you may enter. And one day, without a single introduction, you'll emerge from that place impossible to ignore. 6. Choose carefully which voices you listen to each morning. Once you've learned how to protect your dream in silence, you'll realize there's something else that needs cleansing: the voices that quietly program your mind every morning. Not all noise comes from the outside crowd. Some of it comes from what you consciously choose to hear. The news you read before brushing your hair. The videos you play on autopilot. The things people say about life that you've never had time to verify. And if you're not alert enough, these voices will slip in before you've even heard your own. Morning is not the time to absorb the world. It's the time to reshape your inner world before it gets swept away. If you start your day with negative news, your mind is already bent into a defensive stance. If you read criticism, you've already put on an unnecessary armor. If you scroll through social media to see how well others are living, you've already launched your day with comparison and lack. Your mind doesn't distinguish between mere information and what's worth believing. It just receives. And you are responsible for what you allow in. Stoic philosophy has always emphasized inner control. But control isn't about rejecting everything. It's about carefully choosing what you let in. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." That's most true in the morning, a time when influence sinks deepest because your mental defenses aren't yet fully built. Curating the voices you hear each morning is not arrogance, it's necessary. Self-respect. You cannot allow just anyone, any content, any toxic energy to enter the sacred space that is your first hour of the day. Notice this. Those who are calmest and most clear-headed often begin their day in silence or in deliberate selection. They don't read emails, don't check social media, don't rush to hear others. They create a clean space to set the tone for their entire day. And ironically, it's through this act of tuning out that they hear more clearly the voice within the one many forget, because they've lived too long in others' noise. Every morning you have two choices. Let the world shape you, or shape the world you'll walk into. It starts with something small. Who you listen to, what you read, what you believe. If you begin with chaos, you're handing the steering wheel of your life to things that don't care about you. But if you begin with stillness, with careful selection of every word you receive, you're quietly reaffirming control over your life. Not every piece of advice deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves your trust. And not everyone who speaks much lives what they preach. You don't need to be polite to every opinion. You don't need to satisfy every expectation. You just need to be alert enough to draw a firm, invisible line between yourself and the noise that doesn't build you. That's a new kind of silence, not to escape, but to protect yourself from voices that add no value. So tomorrow morning, before you let the world speak to you, ask yourself, who am I allowing into my mind? And if the answer makes you feel unsafe, unsettled, or dishonest with yourself, it's time to mute the noise. Choose again. Because morning is the moment you plant the seeds that will grow throughout the day. And those first seeds must come from clarity, not from unconscious habit. 7. You don't need much, you need consistency. External noise may throw you off course, but it's the quiet, steady steps you take each morning that determine where you'll end up. After all the doubts, the meaningless advice, and the suspicious silence from others, what keeps you on the right path is not guidance but habit. You don't need to be cheered on, and no one needs to witness your effort as long as you stay committed to what's right, day after day. Not every great act begins with grand inspiration. Most lives are changed by small things repeated with unwavering respect. You don't need to do a lot to become strong. You just need to be consistent so you don't become fragile. People don't lose themselves because they failed once, but because they neglected themselves every day. And it is consistency, no matter how small, that no one can imitate. No one can steal, and nothing can replace. True progress never makes a loud noise. It is quiet, persistent, and firm. It doesn't come from the occasional excitement of a motivated morning, but from the discipline strong enough to do the right thing even when you don't feel like it. You won't notice the difference after reading one book, writing one journal entry, or turning off your phone to meditate for 5 minutes. But repeat that for a month, a year, and you'll become someone else. Not because you've changed completely, but because you've refined yourself piece by piece. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." And the most frightening part isn't that time moves too fast. It's that we let it slip by every morning without leaving a single trace. Each time you trade discipline for temporary emotion, you're sending a message to yourself that you can't be trusted. And self-respect, unlike emotion, is quiet, but it remembers for a very long time. Consistency is the enemy of the ego, because it doesn't offer immediate victory. It doesn't make you stand out or earn applause. And that's precisely why it becomes the test of whether you're truly serious about your life. Anyone can make a one-time effort, but only those who take full responsibility for themselves can sustain it silently. Each morning you do something small, but do it right. You're renewing your commitment to live with integrity, with weight, without drifting, and that commitment repeated over time will turn you into someone unshakable. You don't need to do the most. You don't need to win every moment, but you must be the one who never gives up on yourself, not even for a day. Achievement doesn't come from speed, but from not stopping. Trust isn't built by convincing others, but by keeping your word to yourself when no one is watching. And true happiness is not found at the finish line, but in the quiet sense of peace that comes from knowing you are still moving forward, one step, one day at a time, no matter how chaotic the world becomes. If you've ever asked why you can't change, start by changing your morning habits. Not all of them, just one, and repeat. Even if it's just 10 minutes of reading, 3 minutes of deep breathing, or one line of self-reflection, let consistency shape you into something sharper. Because you don't need much to begin a new life. You just need to be consistent enough not to return to the old one. I used to think I needed something massive to change my life, a shock, an opportunity, a moment of awakening, but after years of failure, I realized not every awakening comes with thunder, not every realization comes with light. Some changes arrive quietly on a morning when I chose to sit with myself instead of rushing to check my phone. One morning, I wrote down 3 questions to ask myself instead of reading the news. One morning, I decided to do just one small task and do it all the way. No one knew, no one saw, but I felt it clearly. I was starting to live differently, not through explosive effort, but through quiet consistency. From that moment on, I learned to treat my mornings as sacred ground, a space where I didn't have to be anyone, just someone better than I was yesterday. If this video helped you reclaim the power of your mornings, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next content. This isn't a place to feel excited. It's a place to see yourself more clearly. Because sometimes, a quiet morning is the beginning of a life that cannot be shaken. See you in the next video.